Welcome to the core vocabulary training for inconsistent phonological disorders. If you're on this training, you're likely to be working with a child with an inconsistent phonological disorder or have your own child with an inconsistent phonological disorder. Inconsistent phonological disorder is often shortened to IPD, and I will use this abbreviation to refer to it throughout the training. IPD is a type of speech sound disorder. Children with IPD can usually say the sounds on their own, but are unsure where to use them in words. They will often say words in different ways. For example, dog might be said as dod, got, or tog on different occasions. This inconsistency can make their speech difficult to understand. Children with IPD can often say words more clearly if an adult says the word for them first for them to copy. Core vocabulary therapy is an evidence-based therapy approach used to support children with IPD. The aim of core vocabulary therapy is for the child to learn to say words in exactly the same way every time they attempt to say them. We're aiming for a consistent production of words rather than an error-free production at this point. It involves the child identifying the number of syllables and learning where to use individual sounds consistently within a word. Before you begin core vocabulary therapy, there are some key things that need to be in place. Firstly, syllable knowledge. Children need to be able to count syllables and break down words into syllables. If they cannot do this, then this needs to be worked on first. If you need support on how to do this, please speak to your linked speech and language therapist. Secondly, you need to create a list of 50 words. These should be functional and motivating for the child, and could include things such as family and friends' names, their favourite food, their favourite TV programmes, or any vocabulary needed for school. Words should vary in length, the number of syllables, and the sounds included. It's helpful for school, parents, and the child to work together to build a list of motivating words. Finally, you need to identify which pictures you'll use to represent each sound. You can use Jolly Phonics pictures, Nuffield pictures, or any other sound pictures that the child is already familiar with. Your speech and language therapist can help identify which pictures would be most suitable. To get started, you'll need to choose 10 words out of the list of 50 that you're going to start with. You will always be working on 10 words at any one time. Find pictures to represent the words, and find pictures or objects that you'll use to mark the number of syllables within the word. This could be hands as shown here, or something else motivating like Lego blocks or bricks. Aim to practice these 10 words every day. This might be in one 20-minute session, or could be spread across 2 shorter sessions in the same day. To practice each word, work through the following steps. Number 1. Help the child to identify the number of syllables in the word by clapping out the word. Dinosaur. They might be able to clap the syllables out themselves, or they might initially need you to help them by clapping the word out yourself to show them, or by using your hands over their hands to help them to clap the correct number of syllables. Number 2. Select the correct picture to represent the number of syllables in the word. In this case, we're using the picture of 3 hands to indicate the 3 syllables in the word dinosaur. Number 3. Help the child to identify the key sound in the first syllable. Children with IPD usually don't make errors with vowel sounds, so the key sound will usually be the consonant sound. However, if the syllable only contains a vowel sound, or the child is making errors with vowel sounds, then these can be included. Say the first syllable, die, and ask them which sound they can hear. Initially, they're likely to need more prompting and support to choose the correct sound picture. You can emphasize the start sound for them and reduce the number of sound pictures for them to choose from if needed. For example, you could start with just 2 options. Is it d or and then increase the number of options as they become more confident. Support the child to pick the correct sound picture, d, and place it on the first syllable picture. Then practice saying the first syllable together. Die. Number 4. Repeat this for the next syllable, n. Support your child to find the correct sound, and put it on the next syllable picture. Practice saying the two syllables together, diner, touching the syllable picture as you say the sounds. Number 5. You need to identify the key sound in the final syllable, saw. Support the child to find the correct sound picture, s, and put it on the final syllable picture. Then practice saying dinosaur together. See if your child can say the word independently, and if so, can they attempt it several times in a row. Dinosaur, dinosaur, dinosaur. Feedback is important and needs to be specific. For example, you said all the sounds in the right order, or you said sinosaur instead of dinosaur. Let's try and make it a death sound, dinosaur. Provide opportunities to practice their best version of each target word until the child can say it 3 times in a row in the same way, consistently without any help. Motivating pictures can be used to support with this. For example, see if they can say the word consistently on each football to get to the goal. Aim to work on 10 words in this way within 1 session. To determine when a word can stop being practiced and a new word introduced, you need to test if your child can say the word 3 times in a row and in a sentence without any adult modelling or support. This needs to be at a time when the word has not just been practiced, for example at the start of a new session. If they can say the target word 3 times consistently without help, dinosaur, 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 this word can be removed from the list and replaced with a new word from the original list of 50 words, so you're always working on 10 words at a time. Some things to be aware of. If the word has a consonant blend or a cluster, for example sp in Spider-Man or pl in plate, you can put both of the consonant sounds on that syllable picture. They must go on the same syllable picture if they form part of the same syllable. If the child is having difficulty with other sounds in the syllable, apart from the starting consonant, for example missing off the N sound of words, or making a vowel error, these can also be added to the same syllable picture as shown on the slide. Remember, the aim is for the child to say the word exactly the same way each time, not necessarily an error-free production. We're aiming for their best production of a word. That is, a production that contains all the sounds they're currently able to say accurately on their own. For example, if the child cannot say a particular sound, then we can accept their production of this sound as long as their production of the word is consistent. So for the word rocket, if the child says w instead of r, then wocket would be an acceptable production. Your speech and language therapist will then advise on how to support the production of r at another stage in the child's therapy. For some children with IPD, core vocabulary therapy will resolve all of their speech sound difficulties. Some children will go on to require a different type of speech sound therapy to target any remaining errors once their inconsistency has resolved. Your speech and language therapist will continue to monitor the child's progress and recommend alternative therapy approaches in the future if they are required. Thank you for watching this training. Please contact your Link speech and language therapist if you have any questions or would like any further support.